I'll never forget the sound of my mother's voice cutting through the evening air like a blade. You're dead to us, Chelsea. Dead. My father stood beside her, arms crossed, face carved from stone. Behind them, my sister Vanessa leaned against their Cadillac, examining her manicured nails like this was just another Tuesday. Like they weren't disowning me in my own driveway. All we are asking, my mother continued, her voice dripping with manufactured tears, is that you help your sister. That's what family does. I gripped my house keys so hard they left marks in my palm. Help her? Mom, this is the 7th time. 7th. I'm not selling my house because Vanessa can't manage money. It's not about managing money. Vanessa finally spoke, pushing off the car. I had a business opportunity that didn't pan out. These things happen to entrepreneurs. I almost laughed. Entrepreneurs. That's what she called herself after blowing through 3 inheritance checks, 2 business loans, and our grandmother's entire estate on opportunities that all somehow ended in disaster. This time, she owed $90,000 to some business partner in a skincare pyramid scheme that went sideways. And somehow, like always, it became my problem to solve. Sell your house, Chelsea. My father finally spoke, his voice flat and cold. Your sister needs this. The family needs this. The family. I felt something crack inside me. I worked TWO jobs through college while Vanessa partied in Cancun. I ate instant noodles for months while she got a new Lexus for her birthday. I saved every single dollar for 5 years to buy this house, and you want me to throw it away because she made another bad decision? My mother's face twisted. How dare you talk about your sister like that? She's going through a difficult time. She's always going through a difficult time. And you always expect me to fix it. The silence that followed was thick enough to choke on. My father straightened his shoulders. If you won't help your sister, then you're not part of this family anymore. Fine by me, I heard myself say, and honestly, I meant it. My mother gasped like I'd slapped her. You selfish, ungrateful. Get off my property. Excuse me. I said get off my property. They stared at me like I'd grown a second head. Vanessa's mouth actually fell open. You'll regret this, my father said quietly, dangerously. When you come crawling back, and you will, don't expect us to welcome you with open arms. I won't be crawling anywhere. They left in a screech of tires and a cloud of dust. Vanessa shot me one last venomous look through the back window. I stood in my driveway for 20 minutes after they disappeared, shaking like a leaf, half expecting them to come back. Half hoping they would apologize. They didn't. That was 6 years ago. 6 years of silence. 6 years of missed birthdays, holidays, and life moments. 6 years of building a life without their chaos, their demands, their conditional love. I paid off my mortgage 3 years early. I went to therapy and unpacked decades of being the responsible one. I met someone wonderful named Caleb, fell in love, and got engaged. We sold my little 2-bedroom house and bought a beautiful Cape Cod-style home together across town. My old house? I sold it to a sweet retired couple named Warren and Phyllis, who baked cookies for the neighbors and kept the garden even prettier than I had. I changed my phone number. I blocked them on everything. I built walls so high I thought nothing could breach them. I was wrong. The call came on a Tuesday morning while I was making coffee. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Chelsea. The voice was hesitant, familiar. Janet from my old job at the Riverside Credit Union. Janet? How did you get this number? I'm so sorry, sweetie, but your parents came by yesterday. They were insistent. They said it was an emergency. My stomach dropped. What did you tell them? I didn't want to, but your mother was crying, and they said your sister was in real trouble, and, I'm sorry, Chelsea. I gave them your new number. I closed my eyes. It's okay, Janet. Thanks for the warning. Are you all right? They seemed pretty worked up. I'll handle it. The call came 17 minutes later. Chelsea. My mother's voice, sharp as ever. No hello. No how have you been. Just straight to the point. We need to talk about Vanessa. 6 years of silence, and this was how she broke it. I don't think we have anything to talk about, I said calmly, even though my heart was hammering. Your sister owes $170,000 and she's in serious danger. Real danger, Chelsea. Not like before. What did she do this time? Does it matter? My mother's voice cracked. She's your sister. People are threatening her. They came to our house looking for her. I took a sip of coffee. It had gone cold. And this concerns me how. You need to sell your house, my father cut in. It's the only way to get this kind of money quickly. There it was. 6 years, and they wanted the exact same thing. No, Chelsea. I said no. You cut me off 6 years ago, remember? You told me I was dead to you. You made your choice. That was different. My mother shrieked. We were upset. We didn't mean. You meant every word. And you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I paid off my house. I got engaged. I built a life without walking on eggshells around Vanessa's disasters. So no, Mom. I'm not selling my house. Vanessa's debt is not my responsibility. She could get hurt. Chelsea. These people don't play around. Then maybe she should have thought about that before gambling with loan sharks, or scammers, or whatever mess she got into this time. My father's voice went dangerously quiet. If you don't help your sister, you'll have to live with the consequences. Blood is blood, Chelsea. Family is forever. Family is supposed to be there for each other, I shot back. Not just when they need something. You abandoned me. Remember? I was family then too. You abandoned us. My mother screamed. We needed you and you turned your back. I hung up. My hands were shaking so badly I had to set down my coffee mug before I dropped it. Caleb came into the kitchen, concern written all over his face. Babe? I heard yelling. Was that? Yeah. They found my number. He wrapped his arms around me. What did they want? Same thing as 6 years ago. Sell the house, save Vanessa, play the martyr. What did you say? I said no. He kissed the top of my head. I'm proud of you. They'll call back. Then we'll block the number. I nodded against his chest, but something cold settled in my stomach. Something that whispered, this isn't over. I should have trusted that instinct. 3 days later, my phone rang at 11:47 p.m. Blocked number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Help. Vanessa's voice, small and terrified in a way I'd never heard before. Chelsea, please. They're going to kill me. I sat up in bed, fully awake now. Beside me, Caleb stirred. Who is it? I covered the phone. Vanessa. His expression darkened, but he stayed quiet. Vanessa, what's going on? I owe money to the wrong people, Chels. Really wrong people. They came to Mom and Dad's house tonight with guns. Guns. They said if I don't pay by Friday, they'll... Her voice broke into sobs. Despite everything, despite 6 years of boundaries and therapy and growth, I felt the old familiar pull. The desperate need to fix things. To save her. How much time do you have? 4 days. I need $170,000 by Friday at noon, or they said they'll hurt Mom and Dad to get to me. My blood ran cold. They threatened Mom and Dad. They know where they live, Chelsea. They know everything. And it's my fault. I know it's my fault. But please, I'm begging you. You're the only one who can help. Vanessa, I don't have $170,000 just lying around. Your house. She cut in desperately. You could take out a home equity loan, or sell it, or... And there it was. The real reason for the call. I'm not selling my house, Vanessa. Then Mom and Dad could die. Is that what you want? Do you hate us that much? I don't hate you. But this isn't my responsibility. You made these choices. I made mistakes. I'm human. But you've always been perfect, haven't you, Chelsea? Perfect grades, perfect job, perfect little house, perfect little life while the rest of us struggled. Struggled. I was standing now, pacing the bedroom. You got everything handed to you on a silver platter. Cars, money, chances. I had nothing but what I earned myself. And you never let us forget it. Always so high and mighty. Call the police, Vanessa. If people are threatening you, call the police. The police can't help. These people are. She stopped abruptly. They're what? Silence. Vanessa, what aren't you telling me? Nothing. Please, Chelsea. I'll pay you back. I swear. I'll get a job. I'll do whatever it takes. Just please help me this one last time. Every instinct I developed over 6 years of therapy screamed at me to hang up. To block the number. To protect my peace. But the part of me that was still that little girl trying to earn her parents' love? That part whispered, what if she's telling the truth? I need to think about it, I finally said. There's no time to think. Friday is. I said I need to think. I'll call you tomorrow. I hung up before she could protest. Caleb was sitting up now, watching me with worried eyes. Chelsea. I know. You can't sell the house. We bought this place together. It's our home. I know that. Do you? He stood up, taking my hands. Because I've watched you twist yourself into knots for them before. I've seen what they do to you. She said they threatened Mom and Dad with guns. And you believe her? I wanted to say yes. I wanted to believe my sister was capable of telling the truth when it mattered. But 6 years of distance had given me clarity. I don't know, I admitted. Part of me thinks she's exaggerating to manipulate me. But what if she's not? What if something really happens to them because I didn't help? That's emotional blackmail, Chelsea. That's what they do. He was right. I knew he was right. But knowing something and feeling it are two very different things. I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I'd made my decision. I called Vanessa back at 8 a.m. sharp. Chelsea. Oh, thank God, I've been up all night waiting. I'm not selling my house. The line went silent. But I'll help you another way, I continued. I'll call some resources. Maybe there are debt consolidation programs, or debt consolidation. Her voice turned sharp. Chelsea, I don't need a financial advisor. I need money. Real money. Now. Then get a loan. Talk to the bank. File for bankruptcy if you have to. No bank will give me money. My credit is destroyed. And bankruptcy won't stop these people from coming after Mom and Dad. Then go to the police, Vanessa. If you're really in danger. I told you, the police can't help. Why not? I pressed. What exactly did you do to owe these people $170,000? Another pause. Too long. Vanessa. It's complicated. Uncomplicate it. I may have borrowed money from a private lender. For a business investment. What kind of business investment? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. If you want me to help you, I need to know what I'm dealing with. She exhaled sharply. Cryptocurrency. I thought I could flip it quick, make easy money, and pay everyone back. But the market crashed and... You gambled with loan shark money on CRYPSUNSY. It wasn't gambling. It was an investment strategy. Vanessa, that's literally gambling. Oh, here we go. Saint Chelsea with all the answers. You've never taken a risk in your life. Calculated risks, Vanessa. Calculated. Not throwing $170,000 at internet money. You know what? Forget it. Forget it. I hope you can sleep at night knowing you let your own family suffer because you're too selfish to help. I'm not selfish for having boundaries. You're a coward hiding behind boundaries because you're too scared to actually live. You've always been jealous of me. Jealous. I laughed, actually laughed. Of what? Your debt? Your disasters? Your complete inability to take responsibility for anything. I hope you regret this, she hissed. When something happens to Mom and Dad, I hope you remember that you could have stopped it. She hung up. I stared at my phone, chest heaving, emotions rioting inside me. Caleb appeared with coffee. I heard. She said I'll regret it when something happens to Mom and Dad. Classic manipulation. I know. But what if? Chelsea. He set down the coffee and took my face in his hands. Listen to me. You are not responsible for your sister's choices. You are not responsible for your parents' choices to enable her. You worked hard for everything you have. You don't owe them your house, your money, or your peace of mind. Tears burned in my eyes. Then why do I feel so guilty? Because they programmed you to feel that way. Since you were a kid, they made you feel responsible for everyone's happiness except your own. He was right. God, he was so right. I'm done, I whispered. I'm really, truly done this time. Good. I blocked Vanessa's number. Then my parents' numbers again, just to be safe. For 3 days, I felt like I could breathe again. And then Friday afternoon happened. I was at work. I'm a loan officer at Meadowbrook Bank now, when my cell phone started blowing up with calls from numbers I didn't recognize. I ignored the first 5. The 6th came from the Boulder Creek Police Department. My hands went numb. Hello? Is this Chelsea Hartwell? Yes. This is Officer Kaplan with Boulder Creek PD. We have your parents in custody, and they're asking for you. The room tilted. In custody? For what? Breaking and entering. Destruction of property. They broke into a residence at 428 Maple Street with baseball bats and caused approximately $50,000 in damage. 428 Maple Street. My old address. The house I sold 3 years ago. Oh my God. I breathed. Your parents are claiming they were trying to access their daughter's property to retrieve important documents. They're quite insistent that we contact you to verify their story. I sank into my desk chair. Officer, I don't live at that address. I sold that house 3 years ago to Warren and Phyllis Burke. A pause. You sold it? Yes. I haven't lived there in 3 years. And did you give your parents permission to access the property? Absolutely not. I haven't spoken to them in 6 years except for one phone call earlier this week. Another pause, longer this time. I see. Would you be willing to come down to the station and provide a statement? My heart was pounding. Officer, are Warren and Phyllis okay? They're shaken up but unharmed. They were in the backyard when your parents broke through the front window. I'll be right there. I drove to the Boulder Creek police station in a daze, Caleb's words echoing in my head. Do you want me to come with you? No, I'd said. I need to do this alone. The station smelled like burnt coffee and industrial cleaner. Officer Kaplan met me in the lobby, a tired-looking man in his 40s with kind eyes. Ms. Hartwell. That's me. Thank you for coming. Let's talk in here. He led me to a small interview room. Through the window, I could see the main area where my breath caught. There they were. My mother, sitting in a plastic chair with her hands cuffed in front of her, mascara streaking down her face. My father next to her, jaw clenched, staring at the floor. They looked smaller than I remembered. Older. Defeated. They've been asking for you non-stop, Officer Kaplan said, following my gaze. Demanding we call you, insisting this is all a misunderstanding. It's not a misunderstanding, I said quietly. Tell me what happened. He pulled out a notepad. According to the homeowners, your parents showed up around 2 p.m., banging on the door and shouting for someone named Chelsea. When Mr. and Mrs. Burke explained no one by that name lived there, your parents became increasingly agitated. They demanded to be let in. When the Burkes refused and threatened to call the police, your mother said, he consulted his notes. This is my daughter's house and we have every right to be here. I closed my eyes. The Burkes locked the door and went to the backyard to call 911. That's when your parents retrieved baseball bats from their vehicle and smashed through the front window. Jesus Christ. They proceeded to destroy the living room. Furniture, television, family photos, decorative items. They were shouting about how you'd forced their hand, and this was what happens when you turn your back on family. My stomach twisted. Neighbors called it in. When officers arrived, your parents were still inside, still destroying property. They were arrested without incident, though your mother became hysterical when she saw the family photos on the mantel and realized that it wasn't my house anymore. Exactly. He leaned back. Ms. Hartwell, I need to ask you some questions for the report. For the next 20 minutes, I explained everything. The disownment 6 years ago. The phone calls this week. Vanessa's debt. Their demand that I sell my house. Officer Kaplan listened without interrupting, occasionally making notes. And you have no legal ties to the property at 428 Maple Street. None whatsoever. I sold it 3 years ago. I can provide documentation. That would be helpful. He set down his pen. Ms. Hartwell, your parents are going to be charged with breaking and entering, vandalism, and destruction of property. The Burkes are pressing full charges. Your parents are claiming this was all a mistake, that they thought it was still your house. That doesn't make it legal. No, it doesn't. He paused. They're asking to speak with you. My heart lurched. No, you don't have to. I just wanted you to know. I don't want to see them. He nodded. I understand. But Ms. Hartwell? Off the record. I looked up. I've been doing this job for 18 years. I've seen a lot of family situations. And I can tell you, he gestured toward the window where my parents sat today. Whatever they did to you to make you cut them off, you made the right choice. Tears burned in my eyes. Thank you. Do you want to speak with the Burkes? They're in the waiting room. They'd like to meet you. Yes, please. Warren and Phyllis Burke were exactly as I remembered them, gentle-faced, silver-haired, the kind of couple who probably still held hands at the grocery store. Phyllis stood up when she saw me, eyes welling with tears. Chelsea. I'm so sorry, I burst out. I'm so sorry this happened. I had no idea I never thought they'd. Warren held up a hand. Honey, this isn't your fault. But they were looking for me, they thought it was my house. They're adults who made a choice to commit a crime, Warren said firmly. That's on them, not you. Phyllis took my hands. We know about what happened 6 years ago. We found your letters. I blinked. What? When we were cleaning out the garage, we found a box of letters. Birthday cards you'd sent them that were returned unopened. Christmas cards. Graduation announcements. Oh God. I'd forgotten about those. The first year after they cut me off, I tried to reach out. Sent cards for every occasion. Every single one came back marked return to sender. After that, I stopped trying. We read a few before we realized they were private, Warren said gently. But honey, we could tell. You tried. You really tried. They wouldn't let me back in, I whispered. Some people don't know what they have until it's gone, Phyllis said. And some people never figure it out at all. We talked for a while longer. I gave them my insurance information even though Officer Kaplan said the homeowner's insurance would likely cover everything. I apologized 17 more times. They hugged me 18. As I was leaving, Officer Kaplan stopped me. Ms. Hartwell? One more thing. Yes? Your parents' car is in impound. They have no one else to call. Your sister hasn't answered her phone. Of course she hasn't, I thought bitterly. They're asking if you'll post bail. I stood in the parking lot of the Boulder Creek police station for 20 minutes, staring at my phone. One call. That's all it would take. One call to a bail bondsman, and my parents would be out by tonight. They'd have to face charges eventually, but they'd be out. They'd be free. And they'd probably show up at my actual house next. My phone buzzed. Text from Caleb. How'd it go? They want me to post bail. I typed back. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, what do you want to do? That was the question, wasn't it? 6 years ago, I would have done it without thinking. 6 years ago, I would have paid the bail, apologized for existing, and probably offered to help with legal fees too. But that Chelsea was gone. The woman standing in this parking lot had worked too hard, fought too long, and built too strong a foundation to tear it down for people who'd proven, over and over, that they'd never change. I thought about Warren and Phyllis Burke, whose peaceful retirement had been shattered because my parents couldn't accept the word no. I thought about Vanessa, who was probably hiding somewhere while Mom and Dad took the fall for her debt. I thought about myself at 24, standing in my driveway, being told I was dead to them. And I made my choice. I called Officer Kaplan. "Officer, this is Chelsea Hartwell." "Ms. Hartwell, have you made a decision about bail?" "I have. I won't be posting bail. I won't be helping with legal fees. And I don't want to be contacted about this case unless absolutely legally necessary." A pause. "I'll make a note in the file." "Thank you." "Ms. Hartwell? For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing." I hung up and got in my car. My hands were shaking, but my mind was clear. I drove home in silence, parked in the driveway of the house I shared with Caleb, the house that represented everything I'd built without them, and sat there for a moment. My phone rang. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "You bitch." Vanessa's voice exploded through the speaker. "You left them in jail." "Hello to you too, Vanessa. Don't you dare act casual. Mom and Dad are sitting in a cell right now because of you." "Because of me?" I felt something snap. "Vanessa, they broke into someone's house with baseball bats and destroyed $50,000 worth of property. That's on them. They were trying to make you help me. By committing felonies? By terrorizing an innocent couple? That's your defense. If you just sold your house like they asked." "My house isn't yours to demand." I was shouting now, 6 years of suppressed anger pouring out. "My money isn't your safety net. Your debt isn't my responsibility. They're our parents, Chelsea. They stopped being my parents 6 years ago when they cut me off for refusing to enable your disasters. And you know what, Vanessa? That was the best thing that ever happened to me. You're a selfish, heartless." "I'm done," I said quietly. "I'm done with the guilt trips. Done with the manipulation. Done with sacrificing my peace for your chaos. Mom and Dad made their choice. You made yours. And I'm making mine." "What choice is that?" "I choose me. I choose my life. I choose my boundaries. And if that makes me selfish in your eyes, then I guess I'm selfish. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret is not doing it sooner." I hung up and blocked her number. Then I walked inside, where Caleb was making dinner, pasta with that garlic bread I loved, and collapsed into his arms. "I did it," I whispered. "I really did it." "I'm proud of you," he murmured into my hair. "I'm so proud of you." That night, I slept better than I had in weeks. The charges against my parents were serious: breaking and entering, criminal mischief, destruction of property, and trespassing. Their lawyer, a public defender, since they drained their savings bailing Vanessa out of previous messes, tried to argue temporary insanity brought on by family stress. The judge wasn't buying it. My mother got 18 months probation and 200 hours of community service. My father got the same, plus anger management classes. They were also ordered to pay restitution to Warren and Phyllis Burke for the damages, $50,000 split between them. Money they didn't have. Because of Vanessa. I heard all this through Janet, who still had connections to people who knew my family. I didn't ask for updates, but she felt I should know. "Your sister skipped town," Janet told me over coffee 3 weeks after the incident. "Apparently she took off right after your parents got arrested. No one's heard from her." "Of course she did," I said without surprise. "Your parents are living in a tiny apartment now. Had to sell their house to pay part of the restitution." I felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not guilt, not sadness. Just acceptance. "How are you doing?" Janet asked gently. "Honestly? Better than ever." And I meant it. Caleb and I set a wedding date, June, at a small vineyard in Napa Valley. No family drama, just friends and chosen family. I got a promotion at work. Bought a kayak. Started therapy again just to process everything. I planted a garden in our backyard. Tomatoes, basil, peppers. Things that needed care and attention and time, but actually gave back what you put in. 3 months after the incident, a letter arrived at my house. No return address. My mother's handwriting. I held it for a long time before opening it. Chelsea, I don't know if you'll read this. I don't know if I deserve for you to read this. Your father and I have had a lot of time to think. About what we did. About how we treated you. About the choices we made. We were wrong. We were wrong to cut you off 6 years ago. We were wrong to demand you sell your house. We were wrong to break into the Burke's home. We were wrong about so many things. Vanessa was always the one who needed help, and we told ourselves that meant you didn't need us. But the truth is, you were the one who had it together. You were the one who made good choices. And instead of being proud, we resented you for it. We resented that you didn't need us the way she did. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a relationship. I just wanted you to know that we see it now. We see what we did to you. And we are sorry. Your father is taking his anger management seriously. I'm in therapy. We are trying to be better people, even if it's too late for us to be better parents to you. I hope you're happy, Chelsea. I hope you're living the life you deserve. All my love, Mom. I read the letter 3 times. Then I folded it carefully, put it in my desk drawer, and went outside to water my garden. Maybe someday I'd respond. Maybe someday I'd be ready to have a conversation. But today wasn't that day. Today, I chose peace. Today, I chose me. And for the first time in my life, that was enough. Caleb and I got married on a perfect June day, surrounded by people who actually showed up for us, not just when they needed something. Warren and Phyllis Burke came to the wedding. They'd become unlikely friends over the past year, occasionally inviting us over for dinner and telling stories about the neighborhood. They never mentioned what my parents did. Neither did I. My sister Vanessa surfaced 6 months after disappearing, living in Las Vegas, working as a cocktail waitress, claiming she'd turned over a new leaf. She sent a Facebook friend request. I didn't accept it. My parents sent a card for the wedding. Just a card. No gift. No attempt to attend. It said, "Wishing you every happiness. Love, Mom and Dad." I didn't throw it away, but I didn't respond either. Some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. And that's okay. Because I learned the most important lesson of all. You can't save people who don't want to be saved. You can't fix people who don't think they're broken. And you can't sacrifice your own happiness trying to make others happy. 6 years ago, my parents cut me off because I wouldn't enable my sister's mess. 1 year ago, they destroyed a stranger's home trying to punish me for having boundaries. Today, I'm sitting in my backyard, watching the sunset, drinking wine with my husband, planning a trip to Italy. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm not extraordinary. But I'm free. And sometimes, that's the greatest achievement of all.